holy fucking shit, our film, Son of a Bikram, is going to South by Southwest this year. Even if I'd had kids, this would be even bigger news. This is a festival that you immediately see SXSW on a laurel on your film, and it gives you instantaneous credibility. And this is the way the industry is, you get into one of these things, Tribeca, Cannes, Sundance, any of these film festivals, it's a big fucking deal. Before I get into that, let's talk about this film. What is it about? Son of a Bikram follows Rag, who is an introverted IT worker who is absolutely obsessed with his hero, Bikram Chowdhury. Yes, that Bikram Chowdhury, the yoga guru / predator. But in this film, he still hasn't achieved his sleazy status. So Rag goes to work, and in 2013, when the sexual assault allegations come out against his hero, Bikram, it happens in his workplace, and he has to deal with the consequences. And he later finds out that Bikram is closer to him than he actually thinks. So, when Johnny and I were coming up with this idea, Johnny, by the way, is one of my best friends. I met him in an acting class 8 years ago, right? And you know how you go to an acting class and you immediately gravitate towards certain people's comedy. And I saw this guy and like the Arnold twins, and I was always so fascinated by the dark comedy that they were creating. I always thought, wow, these people have the same sense of humor as me. Anyway, so both of us are actors. Johnny's been on like a series regular show on Primo, and I've been on network television too. But here's what happened. As we're working, and we're working a lot up until 2023, the strike hits, and then boom, auditions tank by like 75%. So we think going into 2024 that it's going to be the best year of our lives, right? Based on what 2022 had in store. And it never picked up. Television just kind of died, right? So we're just sitting there in our apartments, and we're like, for about a year thinking, what the fuck are we going to do? If we're not working on TV, what the fuck are we doing? And we've always created films and we've submitted it to festivals, but we decided that we needed to make something that was really, really great, that could level us up. But really, I know that Johnny would always tell me this, is that let's just make something that we find interesting and entertaining. So this story is not a personal story. I know that a lot of writer teachers will say, you should write what you know, write what's personal. None of this is personal or what we know. We don't know anything about yoga. We just looked into our imagination and said, what's an interesting premise, right? So we came across this guy. I know that back in the past, I've just seen his videos, this Bikram guy. I mean, he's insane. He's like, oh, one drop of my sperm, women would pay $1 million for. And I was like, I got to play this guy on TV. He's a character, right?
People pay $1 million for one drop of my sperm.
So Johnny was like, what if, well, I won't give away what the movie's about, but he gave me a dark comedy twist on this. And so that's what we ended up writing. I sold my house to make this film. And I just said, we got to forget the budget. We just got to make something really great, a calling card for both of us. So, we co-wrote it, and, I acted in as the lead and he's the director. And then we just shot it over the course of 4 days. And it's insane, the number of people that we pulled, the amount of talent. Like, the cast is amazing, the crew is amazing. We had Will Leong doing stunts for us. I mean, this guy has done stunts for everybody. I remember on the set one day he said, well, I'm a stunt double for Jackie Chan, Tom Cruise, and now Ash T. He's got a wicked sense of humor. Anyway, we made the film last year, and then we just submitted, and we didn't think we were going to get into any big festivals. I mean, obviously we submit to them. Yeah, of course. Why not? Because maybe maybe lightning can strike, but we didn't have any expectations. We were just like, well, you know, it's a great film, and it can be a pitch for a feature or a TV series. So I think around December, I got an email from South by Southwest. It said something along the lines of, you're in strong consideration for this pilot. Can you give us a pitch deck? And we're like, oh shit, we got to write a pitch deck now. But I'm like, yeah, sure, let's get this pitch deck written in a day. That's crazy. So we have this idea for the series, we send it out to them, and then we wait for, I think it was a week or two. But that was a lot of anxiety, because it's like, wow, we could get into a festival that is life changing. 2 weeks of intense anxiety go by. I was just thinking, man, I just wish we could go to South by. That would be so awesome. And as I'm getting off a plane, I get a text message, and it's from Frances Roman, the head of the programming in film and TV. And she says, can you call me back? I'm like, oh my God, this is actually it. But I try to stay chill about it, because I was like, maybe it's just to say, sorry, we really considered you and you're not going to get in. But it wasn't. When I made the call, you know, I was so excited. I mean, when she said, can we have Son of Bikram world premiere at South by? And I said, not only that, I'm going to name my firstborn child after you, which in retrospect is a little bit weird, but funny. That was the start of it. And here we are going to South by in March, and I'm so excited. It is a blessing. And what I want to say is this, is that as artists, we, you know, like me and Johnny, we don't have contacts in the business. We're not like the hot guys, like, you know, like someone with great looks and great popularity. We're just two guys that work hard. And so this was very inspiring to me at a point in my life that I was losing hope. I really felt like, I don't know if I'm ever going to have a career in this industry. Work was dry, but I think both of us really needed this win at this point. And moreover, it got me re-inspired that if you have good craft and good storytelling and you keep working at it every day and you just try to get better, things might actually work out. Things might actually work out. And I'll end on that.